Did you work there for 10 days?
From receiving my Stanley knife to handing it back. I think I knew the writing was on the wall when he sent me into the freezer to pack the fridges, and he wouldn't give me a freezer jacket. I think he was trying to kill me.
He was trying to kill you. Hi, my name is Julian and I.
Hi, and I'm robmarr.
And you're watching the Time That I series. And today we're going to be talking about the time that I lost my job at Aldi, which I never did, but I know a man who did.
Yeah, that was me. I did. I lost a job at Aldi. It was a low moment, Jules. It was a low moment.
But Aldi wasn't the low point of your career, was it? But that was the job that you took because it was better than the previous job.
Well, it was better than the previous job, yeah. But it wasn't it wasn't the lowest moment of my career. No, I've had worse jobs than working in Aldi, definitely. Although I only lasted 10 days.
Spell it out.
It was at the time. I'm sure Aldi had become a very progressive company since I was had the misfortune of working there. But sadly, I wasn't really a good fit because my key skill is not to remember things. And at the time, Aldi
didn't have barcodes?
Didn't have, thank you, Julian. Yes, no, have I told you this story before? No, I didn't have any barcodes, so I was tasked with remembering something like 10,000 products, which I'm not very good at remembering what I was doing this morning or in the afternoon or, key dates. So to remember 10,000 products was a bit of a reach.
But this is a discussion about the time that I got fired from Aldi. So we're going to be discussing times that we got fired from places, what went wrong, what could have gone better, what a business could do if they are firing somebody. Tell us then, in a nutshell, how did it go down when you got fired from Aldi?
Well, it was actually quite sexist the way it went down. If I can be quite frank, because at the time, the guy actually quoted me as he took my Stanley knife off me. After 10 very disappointing days for himself and his area manager. that was the ultimate that was the ultimate humiliation.
Your badge and gun, officer. Your Aldi Stanley knife.
Give me your Stanley knife. Get out.
Okay.
You have no memory.
When you say 10 days, was that how long it was? Did you work there for 10 days?
From receiving my Stanley knife to handing it back. Yeah. From the contract signing to the cancellation of said contract. It was 10 days.
Flippin' egg.
I think I knew the writing was on the wall when he sent me into the freezer to pack the fridges, and he wouldn't give me a freezer jacket. I think he was trying to kill me.
He was trying to kill you. So, how was it sexist? What was that about?
Well, clearly I was upset at the time, having just left my massive job in M&S, which they were still reeling from. And
an illustrious career, as I
recall.
Illustrious. Management training.
It was.
Scheme,
it was. Yeah. So, anyway, so basically he said to me, I was trying to remember that. So he basically said, when we hire a man, we expect you to become a manager. When we hire a woman, we expect her to pack a shelf. And I actually said, that is, and this is 20 odd years ago, I was like, that is outrageous. You can't, first of all, you can't say something like that. And secondly, that's an appalling way to treat me and the business. I was actually gobsmacked at the time. Now, I'm sure that individual doesn't represent Aldi as a business, and I wouldn't even know if that person works there anymore. But I just remember being quite shocked by the brutal nature of kind of the approach and clearly illegal language and way of dealing with me. And I suppose...
But the grounds for your firing was that you weren't manly material, you weren't management material, you weren't trying to progress?
Well, that's...
That was getting at?
I think, to be fair, no one would disagree with the fact that I'm not management material. Like, I don't fit well in organisations. I'm much better working on my own as I do now. But I think this issue was they had very austere working practices where you had a 12-hour shift, and within that 12 hours, you got a 15 minutes lunch break. And again, I'm going back 20 years, so again, I'm sure this has changed, but... Like, you used to have to, you weren't allowed to bring your own lunch in, and you had to go and buy the lunch from Aldi, queue up at the till with all the customers, pay for it, eat it, clean up after yourself, and then you were back on the shop floor, and you just got one break in a 12-hour shift.
So how did you get fired? Why did you get fired?
Well, I'm still to find out, to be honest with you.
It's in the post.
It's in the post, I'm sure. But he didn't give any reason other than the fact that he obviously thought I had a bad attitude and I chilled easily. So I wasn't physically robust enough.
You didn't have the stamina.
I didn't have the stamina, not to be in a fridge at minus 25 or whatever it was. So... But it was, I suppose what it did is it left a very bad taste in my mouth. There was a long time after leaving there where actually I just couldn't even bear to be, like, the smell of the place kind of got into me. As in, just that environment was so toxic that actually, I love shopping at Aldi now. In fact, we do quite a lot of our weekly shop in Aldi or Lidl or similar. And I think
quick recovery there in case Aldi are a potential client of either of us.
Absolutely,
Aldi is a supermarket. Others are available.
To be fair, Jules, I didn't sack me. Aldi sacked me, and I think that's what happened then. I'm sure that they've modernised significantly since then. I hear a lot of good things about the way they run their business, but I think it rather than speaking about Aldi per se, I think it speaks about aggressive management and poor work practices and a lack of clarity about what the expectations are. I think there was so many issues from the interview to the outcomes in terms of what was expected of me on a day-to-day shift, totally unreasonable working practice. Everyone there was totally exhausted and demotivated. And I don't think that's the kind of environment Aldi would promote as a business. In fact, quite the opposite. So what they obviously had was they had a manager running a business totally unchecked or in a way that was actually compromising their reputation.
So that's the key. Management, probably communication, and training and support for that manager. So the two questions: what lessons could businesses learn from the experience you had after 10 days at Aldi, and what can we learn about the better way of working?
I think you've got to be fair with people, and you've got to be clear about what you expect and then treat them with a bit of dignity at work. We all need to work hard and we all need to contribute. But I think if you don't treat people with respect and dignity and are then actually offensive in the way that you deal with them, that's reputationally very, very poor marketing, because you're not going to go out then and tell people what a fantastic company they are. So I think the company needs to make sure that the message is consistent and the training managers get from recruitment to management needs to be consistent and fair and good. What can we learn from it? I think I probably was attracted by the pay packet rather than by the environment, because it was £6.50 an hour, and I think it was like £3.80 an hour.
In Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah, in Marks and Spencer's. So, you know, I was
kind
of looking.
That's a key point, though, isn't it? Dignity and respect, but from our point of view as workers looking for a new role, we need to look for more than just the salary. It's
not just the money, because all right, you might get paid more money, but if the place is a total hellhole to work in, or the manager you'll be working for is an absolute toe rag, then there's no point going to work there for double the money, because you'll be left in half the time. So there's so much to consider when you're changing jobs other than just earning a few more quid, I think.
Very good. I think we've nailed it. I think we've made a good point there.
I think we actually
look out.
Through all of that, we've managed to stumble upon some wisdom, Jules.
We've done it. Until next time.
Good to talk to you, mate.
Take it easy. Thanks for talking to us about the time that I got fired from Aldi.